Hey everyone, SpencerDog24 here with another Porsche 944 video, and today, well probably over the next few days, I'm going to be replacing the water pump, timing belt, and the rollers. So I've already started on this. The first thing I did was disconnect the battery, and then I removed the starter. If you're not sure how to remove the starter, you can watch another video of mine I shot on how to do that. So after the starter was removed, I went under the car, and then I just removed the fans for the radiator. There's really just 2 plugs and 6 bolts, fairly easy. And after that, I removed the air filter housing as well as the AFM and J boot, and I removed the top cover to the belts so you guys can take a look and see how it is. Now, it does have the updated water pump because it has this guard here, but I still am going to replace it because I really don't know the service history on it. These are on the 10mm. So the next thing I will be doing is removing the distributor cap so I can get this guy off. See you after that. Now, to remove the distributor cap, you're going to have, well, after you unplug all the spark plug wires, of course, what you do, you just push in with a flathead, and then it just twists, and then it'll pop out like so. There's one on top, and there's one at the bottom right down there. That one is difficult to get at one-handed, so I will do that off camera. Once the distributor cap is removed, we'll need to remove this T15 guy right here, and then we can basically, yeah, it's T15, and I'll get that removed. We'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now with the distributor cap off, I'll take a 10mm on these 3 bolts right there, and then I'll be able to remove that, and then I can see the crankshaft where I can get a timing mark lined up. Okay, so now I removed the 10mm bolts. Next thing I'll need to do is crank the engine, and I need to get this notch right down here lined up with this notch. Let me see if I can get it into focus here for you. There we go, lined up with that. There's also another timing mark near the speed and reference sensor I'll show you later, and there are 2 other timing marks on these rollers. When I get underneath the car, I'll show you. So I will get this timing mark lined up right here and be right back. Alright, got a 24mm deep socket on the crank, and now I can get this guy to focus perfect. We can see that this timing mark right here is lined up perfectly with this one. Let me see if I can bring you back to the speed and reference sensor. Actually, I'll shoot another shot of that. Okay, so if you follow your speed and reference sensor and you look straight down, you will see a hole. And I'm not picking it up very well, but there is an OT line mark. Hold on, let me see. There, okay. There we go. So that's how I know it's at top dead center on that as well, because that line is there. So I will check one other spot. Okay, so now I am under the car on the passenger side, and I need to remove this bar so I can remove the power steering pump belt. And then once I have that one removed, I'll come on over to this other side and remove the alternator belt. Basically, just unscrew these here, and then you can lower the or move the resistance greater or stronger with these 2 nuts here. I hope that made sense. I'm not explaining this part very well, but I have to remove these two so I can get these two belts off. Okay. So now that I have that tensioning piece off, I just basically, from the bottom of this, I just popped off the belt here. And then I can get that out of the way. Sorry for the camera work. So next, I'm going to slide further under the car. And I will disconnect this guy right here, so I can get this belt off. And then I should be able to pull my second cover off. Now we need to loosen the 17mm bolt for the AC compressor. I've already gotten that done. And once you get this guy loosened up, you don't have to take it off all the way. We can slide under the car and push it forward. It's probably still a bit stuck. I may need to tap it a few times, but I'll be able to move it forward to get the belt off. So I will see you under the car. Alright, so now that I got that brace piece off right here, I went ahead and you should just be able to like move this inwards, but mine was pretty stuck, so I had to bang on it a few times with a hammer. Like nothing crazy, just I needed to get it to move, and at that point I could slide the belt off as we speak. And I can now get the remaining 10mm bolts off the bottom cover and see how it looks. Okay, so on the top view, I got the cover, the bottom and top timing cover off, and now I need to double check my timing marks for everything. So as of right now, this timing mark is good, and then the previous owner was kind enough to notch this part right here, so I know that this timing mark is good as well. Alright, so now the third timing mark is right here, and you should see this triangle should this notch matches up here, and it does. So I believe we are 100% at top dead center. So all I need to do right now is get the flywheel lock on. Okay, so with my timing marks in place, I went ahead and purchased the flywheel lock from Armwork, and I got that installed. You just basically pop in the 19mm, and I didn't tighten them down too tight, but I gave them, a nice little snuggly torque down there, and yeah, next it's back up on the front of the car. So there's the flywheel lock installed. Okay, so now with the belts, the balance, and the timing belt off, I'm going to recheck my timing mark. Here's one right here on the camshaft. That looks good. And then we're going to drop down to this guy. And if you can see, bingo, that notch in the back right there, that one looks good. And then there's one more underneath the car. Okay. And the third one, oops, sorry for the shaky camera, is perfect. That little notch right there lines up with this, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be this way or not, but this arrow points to that as well. And then I'll check the OT mark now.